In this video, I'm going to share with you my laser approach to LSAT prep. One of the most common questions I get from students is how to structure your LSAT study plan, how to allocate your time over the course of the several months or more you may be studying between now and LSAT test day. In this video, I'll break it down. LASER is an acronym standing for Learning, Accuracy, Sections, Exams, and in Review. And it's the framework underlying all of my day-by-day LSAT study plans, which I personally create for students inside the LSAT Unplugged prep course. But of course, I want to provide you with something here on YouTube for anyone out there studying for the LSAT, whether you're taking it just a few months from now or 3 to 5 months from now or beyond. The first phase of LASER is learning. This involves reading LSAT prep textbooks, watching course lesson videos, maybe using my free YouTube videos if nothing else is available to you, just to give you a basic familiarity with the different LSAT sections and different LSAT question types. You want to make sure that you have a proper perspective from which to view each type of logic game, each type of logical reasoning question, and the various types of reading comprehension questions as well. There are a couple of major types of logic games: ordering, grouping, combinations of the two, and then some more rare curveball type games. In logical reasoning, you have roughly 15 different types of logical reasoning question stems. And then, of course, in reading comp, you have different passage topics: natural science, social science, humanities, and law, and then a variety of different question types as well. Once you have that basic familiarity, and by the way, you don't need to be at 100% perfection here, you will continue practicing and improving, but once you have the basic familiarity, maybe 60 to 70% accuracy, you then move on to the accuracy phase of the plan, which involves drilling questions by type to better see the patterns in each question stem type or each game type, for example. You can use questions organized by type, or you can use categorizations to help you identify them. You want to spend at least a few weeks here to make sure that you're getting the proper perspective from which to view each question type. Then you move on to S for sections, where you do individual timed sections with 35 minutes using standard timing. This is where you work on your pacing, you work on how to allocate your time over the course of the section, when to flag questions and skip them, to come back to them later so that you're not getting bogged down. And by the way, here's a tip for you on logical reasoning pacing. You want to ideally complete the first 10 questions in roughly 10 to 12 minutes, building up a time bank that you can then apply to the tougher questions later in the section. Then you move on to E for exams and endurance. This is where you're doing full-length timed exams, which is 2 sections back-to-back, a 10-minute break, and then 2 more sections back-to-back, again, under standard timing. If you have accommodations, things might be a bit different, but this is what's going to happen for the majority of test takers. This is where you work on your endurance so you're not getting fatigued by the end of the exam. Maybe you experiment with doing a few warm-up questions prior to starting the test, but no matter what, you want to make sure these tests are as strictly timed as possible to replicate test day conditions. You don't want to have artificially boosted scores on your practice tests only to suffer a drop on test day itself. So make sure no matter what, you're keeping these tests as realistic as possible. Then finally, we have R for review. I've developed a framework for LSAT prep review called the Socratic review method. It's a set of guiding questions helping you pinpoint exactly what's giving you trouble regarding a given LSAT question. In logical reasoning, for example, was your misunderstanding stemming from the question stem, the stimulus, or the answer choices? If it was in the question stem, was it unfamiliar wording? If it was in the stimulus, was it LSAC's failure to clearly use indicator words like evidence and conclusion, or sufficient necessary? Or maybe they use annoying difficult words like unless, except, until, and without. You want to make sure that you're identifying the key tricks and traps that you're uniquely prone to falling for, or any gaps in your misunderstanding, so that you can avoid, of course, making the same mistakes again. So there you have it, folks, the laser approach to LSAT prep: learning, accuracy, sections, exams, and review. This is the framework underlying all of my LSAT study plans, whether you're taking the LSAT 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 4, 5, 6 months, or beyond. Of course, the longer time frame that you have, the more time you can devote to each stage of this study plan. I recommend not jumping straight into practice tests just because the results can often be discouraging. They'll really be telling you what you already know, which is that you haven't yet learned the LSAT, but of course you can. And no matter where you start, you can improve significantly on your practice test scores by building the foundation first and using the proper methods. If you haven't already, get a copy of my book, Mastering the LSAT, available at lsatmasterybook.com. I've put together my best advice here for getting started, including a breakdown of the laser approach, sample study plans, and of course, an overview of each LSAT section and each LSAT question type. If you're looking for more, of course, there are a variety of ways I can support you, whether it's through our live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out with a free strategy call to help you jumpstart your prep, or if you've already been studying for a while, but you're feeling stuck on that road to 170 plus, we'd love to help you get unstuck and help you figure out the best path forward that's right for you. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.